Hello and good evening, all of you beautiful people on the internet. My name is Josh. Welcome to Bonus Stage. We are having another one of our Let's Listens tonight, and I am joined by Joe, Josh, Alex, and Stefan of Shrednobi. How are you guys doing tonight?
Woo!
Fantastic.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Here to do some celebrating, no doubt.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, a little preemptive celebration, actually.
Mhm.
You guys are on here tonight to talk about your latest upcoming album, Atomic Mutants. Oh man, I love this album art. This is gorgeous. Obviously, this is all X-Men stuff. So we are here to listen to the tracks that you've prepared for this album, and yeah, tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about how Atomic Mutants got started.
Well, it was basically like the only game that we had for Sega Saturn for a while, me and Stefan, back when we got the Saturn, like 1995, 96. And we just played the crap out of it. And the music was awesome back then. And we just always thought like, man, it'd be cool like to cover some of these songs. And so here we are finally, many decades later.
Yep. That's
Childhood
right.
fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I did notice that that you guys had released a single over 3 years ago now, actually, for Danger Room. That is the Cyclops theme. I'm looking on your Bandcamp here. I'll make sure everybody's got a link in chat so
Awesome.
they can check it out as well. But yeah, this is the old formation with Josh and Joe and Stefan. And of course, now we are joined by Alex as well, taking over the drums. Yeah. So was that kind of like a starting point? Did you kind of like decide, oh, what if we did just this one track, and then got a little taste for more, or what?
Well, this album was supposed to come out way sooner, obviously. But I'm really glad that it didn't, because it gave us a chance to have Alex on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an amazing drummer, like totally like took the band to the next level. And ever since he joined, we've been much quicker about our song production and stuff. So because Stefan was handling both drums and keys, he had like a lot of work, you know.
Yeah.
And
you took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. That the main issue was that essentially me having to do twice as much meant it took twice as long, at least, which probably gets magnified by however many other factors. Especially right now, I've been probably the busiest I've ever been in my life as far as my day job and IRL stuff. So it was like that. You can see the V drum kit behind me. This is what I would have recorded it on. I literally just haven't even sat down on that since I've moved here like almost 2 years ago. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of how things have gone. Anyway, so Alex was literally a savior, kind of making that happen. What were you say, Joe?
Well, that was the other thing. We all moved at the same time to different places. So I think that contributed to that long time span too.
Yeah. Everyone moved away, and the album got put on hold. And then we thought, well, we can still do this via the internet, but it just was a much slower process until Alex came along last year, about a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Wow.
And then Stefan was like, yeah, all right, now I can chill and I have to do the drums.
Yes. Yes.
And,
yeah, absolutely.
And then we were able to like plow through the rest of the tracks. So yeah, we really only had Danger Room, and we did have, I think, Juggernaut was also recorded, but
yes.
So yeah, so the album does have drumming from both Stefan and Alex, but it's mainly Alex. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and that was mainly just because those were mixed so long ago, and you spent so much time on them, you didn't want to have to like do them again. So
well,
I
yeah,
totally get that.
They were perfect. I didn't want to mess with them anyways. They're perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Alex, it sounds like you were a godsend. Why don't you tell us your story a little bit about how you got started with Shrednobi?
Well, I won't go too far into it, but I know that I knew Josh's other band, Super Madness, and we just so happened to be in the same Mega Man group on Facebook, and we kept talking music, and I knew of him. And then next thing you know, I think I sent you a song of me playing a Mega Man X2 track, right?
Yeah, the intro track.
And I think you asked if I wanted to be in Shrednobi, and I think I just sent over a song of me playing one.
It was very easy. It was a very simple process. This guy's like, dude, I'm a metalhead and I love Mega Man. Check it out. Here's me covering this Mega Man song, and he like just sent it to me, and it was just like acoustically on the V drums. I didn't even hear the music. It was just like him ripping the track, and I was like, "You want to be in our band, dude?"
Oh wow.
That was like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that sounds like it was meant to be. That's awesome. Oh my god.
Quick shout out, just because Carlos is in the chat. Kung Fu Carlito is actually the one that did the album art, so give him all the credit there. And what he just said, Mega Man brings everyone together. 100%. I've had that happen in many ways. Like, that's not even an exaggeration.
There you go, buddy.
Awesome. Well, extra shout out to you, to Kung Fu Carlito, because we do celebrate living artists here on this channel as well. Really glad to have you here, and yeah, just incredible job on this album work. This is just screaming that 90s vibe. I love the perspective on the Shrednobi logo as well. Knocked it out of the park, dude. Absolutely well done.
Straight up.
Oh man. Cool. Well, I mean, you in the description that you sent me, you talked about the arcade version of these songs as well. Is that something that you drew more influence of, or is there like a major difference between the Saturn version and the arcade?
I think it's the same.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So here's sorry. I'm the tech nerd in the group.
Let
so
the nerd out.
Quick.
Yes.
So the arcade version runs on a CPS2 Capcom cabinet, and it uses what's called Q sound, like sound technology, which is like really kind of wacky, but basically it just has really cool stereo effects and stuff. So all of that was on that hardware. So all they did for the Sega Saturn was just printed the recorded audio from the cabinet and then used it as Redbook audio, MP3 files, whatever, in the Sega Saturn version. So literally it's 1-to-1. And we grew up with the Sega Saturn. So I actually didn't even know there was an arcade version originally until maybe a few years ago. And then that's when I kind of got on my whole tangent about, okay, I want to get authentic sounds. Can I get them from the arcade? And yeah, I'm not even going to go into the technical details, but let's just say, just keep it simple, I achieved that. And I'm really, really stoked on that. So
yeah, definitely. No,
I weeks on that. Weeks, maybe a month or two, trying to figure
probably
out.
Probably, few months at least.
Build and
literal code, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, I did take a good listen through the album before tonight, and yeah, just hearing those authentic key sounds, yeah, it's definitely something that shines through and complements the rest of your parts really well also. Yeah, speaking of, I think we're ready to dig into the first couple of tracks here. You guys agree with me on that?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Okay, folks. Well, oh shoot, I don't have my track list up here. But yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to follow along at home, you could go to the Bandcamp, but we don't have a pre-order page for that yet. So you'll just have to take my word for it. We are gonna start out doing 2 tracks at a time. We've got coming up first the intro / the player select theme. Followed by Danger Room, as heard previously in 2022. That is, of course,
it's remastered now, though. So yeah,
remaster. Oh man, remastering is a hot topic these days in the gaming world. Let me tell you. Oh my God. But yeah, so we're gonna listen to the player select and Danger Room Cyclops' theme off of Shrednobi's latest upcoming album, Atomic Mutants. Everybody, let's
listen.
Woo.
Hot damn, that sounds just like the real thing, honestly. Yeah, it just sounds like I'm playing the arcade game. I don't know how it sounds different. I'm sure you have a better reference than I do. Speaking of, yeah, like I don't have a frame of reference for these tracks. I didn't play it on Saturn or arcade. So I just want to ask up front: are the arrangements 1-to-1, or are you taking some liberties here?
It's always a little of both, but generally it's a 1-to-1, and that's always been our theory from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Only because we just love the songs, we just like love the songs, like how they're arranged.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the idea was when we were kids, like, oh, I want to hear that with real instruments. And then, but obviously, it can be a little redundant if you just play like the same exact thing. So we usually kind of gradually morph it into our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys will see, like, as the album goes, we get like weirder and weirder with the way that we morph the songs.
You mutate the songs.
We mutate the songs. Damn, why didn't I think of that? But yeah, so this one, it was pretty 1-to-1. It's kind of like testing the waters with this OST, because this was the track that we always liked the most, when we were first hearing it in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, it's the one that we were like, all right, if we're gonna do this album, like, how are we gonna do it? So it was like sort of the test track. Yeah, hence it being released 3 years ago.
Yeah,
it's also how we did the Shinobi 3 Ninja Warriors, Ninja Master.
Ninja Master. Yeah,
you got Ninja Warriors on the brain.
A long day. My brain's not working. Anyway, was starting like as pure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously with the updated instruments as far as guitar and bass and things like that. And then, I'm freezing. Is it me? I am freezing. Yeah. Anyway, but then, yeah, basically for each repetition, sort of evolving bit by bit. And if it's 3 repetitions, then it's like fully crazy on the 3rd repetition, or the 2nd repetition kind of evolves as it goes because we only do 2. So it just depends on the length of the song. But generally, we start pure because, again, the music is awesome and kind of deserves that. And then let's see what we can do to kind of play with it. That's just kind of our spiel, our deal, our shtick, anyway.
Adding more and more notes as it goes.
And you'll hear great examples of that later on as well, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Oh man. Well, the first track there, we had a minute with a fade out. That's that's very much like a character select, but that was definitely an artistic choice.
Yeah.
What was that?
I didn't want it to. I love fades. Personally, I love fades. I know a lot of people don't, but I like the idea that after the song, like, you can think about it and it never ended, so that it stays in your brain. You know what I mean? You just keep hearing the riff over and over in your head. Yeah, it's like we really get in there, Yeah. So yeah, that's my theory behind it. That, and it was only like one part, and we are like, we want to end it or just kind of keep it going, and like, that's so we
chose not to elaborate that one and chose to elaborate others. So
a little give and take for sure.
It's just like here you go. This is what you're gonna get, kind of thing.
Just gonna select your character forever in your head.
You haven't chose by now,
Yeah. Oh god, 1 whole minute in. Oh man. Well, and one other thing that I'm probably going to be asking all night is drums, Alex or Stefan, on both of those tracks.
So the intro track was Alex. That was and then Danger Room was Stefan, because that was like forever ago.
Right, remastered. Yeah.
It's literally just Danger Room and what's Juggernaut's theme? What's it called?
Spaceport. Yeah,
Spaceport. Thank you. So those are the 2 that I did, and everything else was recorded afterward, and Alex took over. So yes, all the credit to him.
A much later time.
Like 2.5 years, probably.
Oh man,
what is time anyway? Like, what the heck?
Right? Especially since back in 2020,
Oh yeah, I remember getting you guys on early bonus stage days. Oh man, that was a time.
Mm-hmm.
It was
good times. I guess that's not ever going to happen again now, because you guys are all geographically disparate from each other.
Well, now we did one where Joe was already moved, and it was just Josh and I together in person. So it could be similar, just with all 5 of us or 4 of us. God, my brain.
It would be a pre-recorded,
in different places.
Pre-recorded, thing, not live.
But
live was crazy already.
maybe putting this live will make it happen. We're supposed to be getting together in person at some point as well, sooner than later.
Hey, we did do one brew game after I moved. One.
Yeah.
That's true.
A long time ago.
You came all the way back just for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good times.
Well, that's
But anyway.
It was.
Well, yeah, you guys have a killer delivery on these tunes, so yeah, it would be incredible to catch some of that live. But yeah, we
With
got
a real live drummer.
Yeah,
Yes.
a real live drummer. Finally. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Finally. 5 years later.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, my backing tracks weren't good enough.
That's okay. You know how many like I call them convention bands there are, just people who like only meet and rehearse when they get together for like VGM Con or MagFest or something,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all. You guys could be one of those.
Just a bunch of professionals. That's what it is.
Yeah. Show up and bang it out on stage. Absolutely. I believe
Bingo.
you guys.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
All right. We got another couple of tracks coming up here. We've got Moon Knight, Psylocke theme, and Mutant Hunting Colossus. These are two new tracks. Anything you guys want to say to preface these tracks before we dig in?
No, I'd say let's go for it.
Let her rip, bud. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got Moon Knight and Mutant Hunting. Guys, let's listen. God damn, just whirling solos all over the place. Holy crap.
Yeah, that one's got some notes.
Yeah. It's the extra ones that you guys were talking about earlier, right? That's the part that has the extra notes.
Yeah,
okay.
They're starting to show up,
Yeah,
here or there,
starting to show up. Oh God,
this
what are
one,
we in
this
for?
one.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
man.
know. Actually,
They
come to think of
make
it, the
the
album
bass
does
player
kind of.
play a couple extra.
Oh yeah.
What did you say, Chris?
I was going to say the album kind of evolves as it goes too, doesn't it? I didn't even think about that until
Mm.
now. This listen is kind of making me feel that way.
It mutates.
Good stuff.
It does.
Uh-huh.
He keeps using that word that I wish I used.
Oh man. Well, you did use it. It's in the title. Atomic Mutants. Oh my God. Well, those two Atomic Mutants that we just heard were Psylocke and Colossus. Fans in chat of MagFest will of course do the forbidden roar in response to Colossus's name or mention. Oh, but yeah.
Colossus around here.
So like apart from like playing the game a lot, is there a lot of love in this band for the X-Men generally?
I mean, that was my favorite cartoon when I was like 5 years old. I used to call Wolverine X-Man. I was just
X-Man.
like,
Yes.
X-Man,
Oh
dude.
my God, he is the
man, dude. He's so cool.
The Xest of men. Yes.
Yeah. And then I thought the movies were great, especially the first two. I thought they were phenomenal. So I'm a fan. I have some X-Men comic books actually behind me too. So I'm not like crazy X-Men fan, but I just think they're cool.
Yeah.
They're like the homies.
Right. Yeah. Comfort show. Comfort
Fam.
watch.
Yeah.
Comfort food.
Comfort food.
Actually, X-Men shaped chicken nuggets would be pretty cool. We should get on that.
Yeah, they're just X's.
tie in with the album. You buy a CD, you get some nuggies.
So
Anyway, a packaging nightmare.
Yeah.
So the tracks, as far as the tracks go, Psylocke was like a really important one for us because that's the first one that we did with Alex.
Oh, nice.
So it was like his test, like the challenge, like all right, man, you're in the band now officially. He had done a cover of Shadow Master, of the song that we released on Ninja Master, and we put that on YouTube, and just to show him off, like, oh, everybody, this is our drummer, So he did that, and then it was officially in the band, and we're kind of talking about how we're going to arrange the songs. And he has the incredible task of basically starting, because we'll talk a little bit about it. We're all across the freaking world or whatever. And we'll do like VMs, I'll be like, oh yeah, I want this part to like go, all right, and then there's gonna be like a break, and then there's gonna be a drum fill. It's like cha choo choo bam. All right, go. And then so Alex has to like translate my goofy voice messages, and then sit down with the song and like just play the drums, but in a way that's creative and unique and stuff like that, like playing the song but also adding his own flavor and whatnot. And so Psylocke was the first one, and that one has some really gnarly like hi-hat work and stuff. So it was cool. Like when it finally all came together, we listened back and we were like, yeah, that'll work.
That'll do, Alex. That'll do.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that good proving grounds. You knocked it out of the park. So glad that you got to keep your position in the band, Alex. That's really cool.
Me too.
Was that really hard for you? Were you like sweating or like, oh God, am I going to be in the band?
It was a lot of both, because I've always been really into video game music, and I was always the only one in my group, So to have like-minded individuals that were even more into it than I am, it was like intimidating, but also exciting at the same time. Especially because Steph is like an awesome drummer already, so there's like this something I have to live up to, and I love
Shoes
it.
to
And
fill.
there's so much to live up to, but it's awesome. So I don't know.
You did it, bro.
Well, I would actually, first of all, thank you for that. But I was going to say it's a similar process for all of us because the quote musicians in the box of the games that we're actually, playing, covers or whatever for, are ridiculous. I mean, you know, because it's sequenced music for the most part, you know, they don't care whether it's actually realistically playable. Now, sometimes it is, and sometimes actually there were, you know, in-house video game composer bands, you know, like Alf Leela and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress. The point is that for the most part, it's really challenging, and we have to rise up to that challenge to even be able to play what they originally sequenced. So, you know, for you, it's like almost 2 layers deep for the stuff that I had previously played that now you're playing. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous. So, yeah.
It's
Anyway.
quite a challenge, bro. It was. I can totally see it from your perspective. I always just believed in you. I was just like, yeah, dude, you got it, bro. Don't worry. Like, are you sure? I don't know if I do this. This is like, dude, just go, bro. It's all you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I try to give him like, you know, as much freedom as possible. Like, just do it, man. Go ham. Like, all right. And then he'd send me the track, and I was just like, perfect. Like, are you sure? Yep. You don't want me to change anything? Like, I could re-record this part if you want. Like, dude, we're good, man. Thank you. Time for the bass. So yeah. Anyway, and then Colossus. That one is like the fun, crazy track, and we kind of added that after. We always wanted to do it, but we weren't sure if it was going to work out because the bass is really tough in that one. And so I kind of presented to Joe. I'm like, hey man, like, are you down for this one? You know, kind of thing. He's like, I think I got it. I got it. And I remember you texting me like a few days later, like, dude, can we like abridge some of this, like these parts? Can we like simplify some of it? I'm like, yeah, you know, wherever you want to. And then he ended up playing like the exact bass line.
That was mostly, yeah. I might have got a little cocky on it, and I started diving into it, and I go, oh boy.
Yeah.
But somehow, you know, these guys, they kind of, there's a couple takes that get sent back and forth, and they kind of, Josh and Stefan will get it out of you.
Yeah. Just takes a little work, you know.
Yeah.
Bring, you know, squeeze it, you know, it's like squeezing a lemon, you know, like, we got it, man. There's the juice. There's like one more drop in you, bro.
One more drop. Oh my god.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh no. Oh god. Where did Alex go, by the way?
His poor knobs. Yeah.
Yeah. He dropped off a little bit. We'll try and get him back maybe during the next listening block.
He said he was on his phone, so maybe it ran out of juice. So hopefully
I'll talk a little bit more about Colossus. Yeah, like Alex took a lot of liberties with that one. This was, like I said, it's kind of a later track, and so he had already had his, you know, had it going, you know, and he knew the process. And so with this one, he was just like, oh, this is like a fun, like upbeat one, like I got this. And then he's like, I went a little crazy towards the end. Hope it's okay. And I'm always just like, hell yeah, dude! Like, I'm glad. Like, please go crazy. And he started doing like this kind of like punk thrash beat, like towards the end. And I was just like, all right, like let's lean into that and make it like a punk rock kind of thing. It's like punk section, you know, like kind of new schooly, you know. And so so that was also going to be the lead section. I was like, okay, well, I'll try to do like an octavey, like sort of like new school punk sounding, you know, Blink-182, whatever type lead. But just for a second, because I want to go back into the notes. You know, we have to hit every single note, every song, of course. And so, yeah, then we kind of threw it back to like, all right, Steph, let's harmonize shred and do some really goofy stuff. So it was fun, really fun track.
Yeah, that was the funniest part, Josh, because you kind of go through that little punk section, and then it just takes off, man. It just takes off.
Literally like a fucking helicopter just
I was like, all right, we did that. That was fun. Okay, anyway. You get punk rock for like 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
That's all you get.
That's all you need.
Good enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty punk. 20-second song. Let's go.
Facts.
Oh my god.
Oh
man. Well, that's awesome. And Alex came back. Yay, we got Alex.
Yeah, welcome back, Alex. I was just telling him about how you threw in that cool, like the punk beat, and you got a little crazy with Colossus towards the end. And I was just like, yeah, hell yeah. And we kind of leaned into that and turned it into like a punk rock section. Punk thrash.
I will say I love it because like when I send off drums and I wake up in the morning to like guitar over it or something, and then at the very end when you guys do that stuff at the end, it's like, I did not expect it to be like that, so it's
Oh, that's
That's
the
gonna be
best.
fun.
yeah.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I can
That's
imagine
the
that now too.
best.
You just give
Hearing-
bare
hearing-
bones drums.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
all right, well, whatever. And then like a week or so later, you get sent back, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of unique. I think that's kind of unique to bands. I mean, I could think of like maybe game developers, a team of game developers being similar, where it's like you start with a kernel of an idea and you pass it off, and then it's essentially just in the other people's hands, whatever they're going to do with that, right? And then you get to see, the results afterward, and maybe it's like a back and forth, but either way, it's this evolution again, this mutation that happens. It starts with something and then kind of keeps going, but it's not necessarily all up to you. That's what's cool about the collaboration aspect of it too. And each of us being our own instrumentalists gets to contribute that side of things. And then sometimes like Josh will be like, yo, can you do this specific thing because like it's going to harmonize with my thing, kind of thing. So we can also sort of direct each other in a way. But yeah, either way, it's really fun to collaborate.
Our process is hilarious. It really is. There's like no way to describe it. Like I said, it's a lot of voice messages, a lot of just goofy back and forth, a lot of misunderstanding through text. You know what I mean? Like somebody sends something in text, like what? Like what are you talking about? Like, so we're making it work though, obviously, and it's we definitely plan on playing some shows coming up soon, so we'll let you know. So before we go into the next track, I did want to kind of preface it a little bit because this was a really fun one.
Yeah.
This track would be considered probably the ballad of the album. It's kind of
which one is it?
Omega
Deep.
Red.
Oh,
yes, the Deep.
The Deep.
We on the side we had been doing some Dwelling of Duels competitions, and we really love doing those. There's so much fun. I love the concept of like you get a mandate. It's got to be like one of these types of songs or whatever from this composer, and then we just go like we got a month and we do our thing. It's been a lot of fun, and so they had an open month, and we decided to do Omega Red for Dwelling of Duels, and we're like, well, this is perfect because then we can also put it out on the album afterwards. You know? And so we went for a more Dwelling of Duels-ish type vibe for that, which is like not straight metal, like it's kind of more like eclectic. We had this guy Cameron play saxophone.
Oh yeah.
Hammy Cakes
from Mad Gear.
Shout out.
Yeah, and we're stoked how it turned out, and it's just kind of like a fun one, but it made the album, and hopefully we feel like it blends well enough with the other tracks. So that would be the next one that's coming up.
Awesome. Yeah, and after that we're gonna get to the Juggernaut track,
which is back to form. Return to form.
A return to formula. Oh
Yes.
man, as Willem Dafoe would say.
It's gonna feel like a punch in the face.
Would that mean like a D mutation? I don't know.
Whoa, yeah.
Trying to throw that one out there as much as possible. So.
Oh man,
demute. I like it.
It's like how Digimon works.
Well, I guess
anyways.
wrong IP.
Like that one.
Hulk turns back into Bruce Banner or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Oh man. All
Except
right.
it's kind of the opposite because obviously, yes, it's going to get heavier. So yes.
Right. And this one's red. But yeah, anyways, folks,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get into it. Let's do the Deep, Omega Red, and Spaceport Juggernauts theme. Let's
listen.
Oh man, yeah, we went somewhere completely new and came right back again. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh man, that Omega Red track is something else. Just it doesn't the points don't matter, as they say in Whose Line Is It Anyway, but I am curious how that track placed on your DOD entry.
I think it was a bit lower than normal, actually. Like usually we're like kind of in the top, maybe top 10 ish.
Well, we I think it was top 10, but it definitely was like we've been like I think we went up to like 6 or 7 one time. Did we get up to? I feel like
5 with
yeah,
Battletoads.
4. Anyway, yeah, this was more close to like I don't even remember 9, maybe I don't know. It's a damn shame.
The free months though, those ones are the ones where people like pull out what they've had up their sleeve for the rest of the year. Like some
Right.
pretty high production and high concept stuff comes out on those free months for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a rigorous like challenge to try to place like higher in that, because there are some amazing musicians in Dwelling of Duels.
Sure.
Like I'm just like, wow, it's so cool. Like, I love my band. I think we're pretty good. And so, but then I'm just like, holy crap, we got a long way to go, guys. Like some of those like holy moly, So it's cool,
and
like,
there's there's conveniences, like for example, if they all live nearby each other and can like jam together, because like that's something that changes things. Like I do miss that. We did used to do that, and that affected things, right? We could decide things real time and try it out. Now it's a lot of this kind of asynchronous thing, so it's just a little different as far as that approach to things. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse necessarily, but it's going to be different, right? And I do think that those that can get together have an advantage. So but whatever,
that's
all good.
That's the plan. We've just been making it work however we can. But yeah, so yeah, it was it was a really fun song to do. I busted out the Strat for that one. I really wanted to get some wah in there. I even bought a wah pedal specifically for the track, and I ended up keeping it because I liked it so much. It's the Vox wah. So I had a Crybaby before, and I didn't like it. I was like, screw this. I don't like wah pedal. I don't like screw wah. Kirk Hammett can have that shit.
Yeah.
But then like I was like, man, I really need like that, like make this like kind of baby making music. And so I was like, I'll try the Vox. And so I got that, and I busted out the Strat. And I have to shout out to my buddy Dustin, who I think's in the chat, because he hooked that up for me for my birthday. It's an American Strat, American Pro something or other. And
Really
anyways,
nice.
so
Ridiculous.
whenever I need to get some spanky cleans, I bust that thing out, and it was fun.
Right there is its cousin, the Telly. That's also yours. That's living in my studio.
Oh yeah, I know.
See it back there?
My other baby.
Oh, your Telly, your baby.
I have too many guitars. I have like 20 guitars over here. Like
I have like 3 of yours.
I know. Oh man, I wish I could house them all. My closet's already really full though. But,
I just picture like a closet, just like
I'm just
guitars
like
piled on top of each other. Yeah.
Well, speaking of guitars too, this is the one that I made, which I call Blue Sashi.
Whoa.
This is a graphic from the game, and yeah, it's a build. Like I built it from the kit, and put some Lundgren pickups in it, and just got it all set up and painted it and stuff. And this is the guitar that we used, besides the Strat for that one little section. For the whole album is this guitar.
Nice.
So it's kind of a cool thing. It was like a little test of mine. Like I want to build the guitar that I use for the next Shrednobi, and so that's what I did.
Nice.
Good old Blue Sashi.
Bravo. Yeah. Damn.
But yeah. Anyway, and then we go into Juggernaut, which
just crushes like you exactly like you would imagine it sounding, right?
Yeah, like I was saying, like I kind of turned the bass up a little bit for that one, because I wanted to really fill it out and have the mix just be like massive. And it was, the guitar tones are all a little different for each song too. And for this one, I like scooped the mids so I could get like that really kind of old school like death metal sound with the bigger bass and the scooped mids. And then that one has a lot of the Mega Man guitar fun stuff.
Mega Man guitar fun stuff. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Elaborate.
It's not my wheelhouse. I mean, everyone just calls it like, oh, it's the Mega Man X guitar.
Yeah.
but I know it's a CPS2, arcade.
Oh, you're
Capcom.
talking about, yeah. So actually, you had requested that I used the game guitar sound for key parts for certain parts, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I love that tone, so it's like, why the hell not? But yeah, it is kind of interesting that we switch between game guitar and then real electric guitar, kind of back
Oh, we
and
had to. We
like
had to do
harmonize
it.
them and stuff, and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good old time. I was gonna say, speaking of which, I'm gonna pull my camera, which is a little bit of a faux pas, but I can't get my instrument visible here. I would just want to show you really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where are we going? He's taking us on a journey here.
Woo!
Whoa, there you go.
that
Look
right
at that.
there,
That's your guitar.
is my that's my instrument. Okay, that's what I use. That was made the sound, and then of course the keyboard just controlled that sound. So yeah, that is Mr. FPGA. Actually, shout out to Birdie Bro in the chat. He actually was the one that hooked me up with this. So just realized we both got gifts that then became integral to this album. You know what I mean? Pretty kind of cool. But anyway, I'll probably do like my own video kind of explaining how the hell I even did that, because it's honestly just going to take too much time. But point is that's where it's at. So yeah, now you know.
Oh man.
He built his instruments as well. So
Wow.
they're
Well,
both-
let's keep going with the show and tell here. Joe, I see you've got your the headstock on your bass. sitting
Oh,
behind you there,
yeah.
bud. Why don't you show off what you got there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This
buddy.
is all the Shrednobi. All the Shrednobi
Yes.
tunes are on one bass.
Yeah.
This the BTB, man.
Look at
BTB.
this
Um,
beast.
Such a sick bass.
Yeah, it was great. I bought it used. It was like a steal, man. I think, I don't know, like $900. I sold a guitar that I'd never used, and I was like, "Hey, Josh, I bought a bass."
Let me be your
Oh, yeah, that's how it
Welcome
started.
to the band.
Yeah.
That is how it started.
So yeah,
That's right.
all the Shrednobi stuff's
I'm
on that
easy,
bass.
bro,
I mean,
like-
someday.
Just be a cool guy, get an instrument, welcome to the band. Like it's pretty much like that. But the being a cool guy thing first, like that is like the hardest part, I think.
Mhm.
Or gal, come on now.
Or gal.
I'm still learning
Oh,
how
man,
to use
I would
I'm
love
still
to- oh,
learning
are
how
you
to use
kidding
the
me?
upper strings.
Oh, we are
yeah.
getting
Yeah. We'll just throw an HM2 on there, and you'll blend in real well with the other guitars. you got the you got the kit guitar, you got the chip guitar, and then you've got the bass guitar. Oh man.
Well, I
Alex,
think
did you
the,
build your V drums?
I built myself around it. I built my
Nice, I
emotional
like it.
shell around my B drums.
Very nicely put, bro. Very, yeah.
Well,
Got
I do-
him.
Yeah.
I want to say the next song. It made me.
Oh,
Josh
no.
made me want to have one lower string that I don't
Oh, so yeah, the next track is
He-
Wolverine.
have. He did.
And
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty heavy.
We'll talk about it after, but
Yeah.
it's kind of another departure slightly, but
Yes,
also
yeah.
not. You'll see.
Yeah.
Descriptive.
Yeah, awesome.
Did we talk
Yeah.
about Juggy? Because Juggy freaking
We
rocks.
did.
Let me just okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
do you have another piece
fat
that you would
boy.
like to say about Juggy, Stefan?
It was a real big challenge because there's a lot of shreddy moments, obviously. Actually, the ones that are built into the piece, like again, the first repetition is original, or I'm sorry, is the word original gets really annoying here to try to describe. Original as in what the game originally had, not as in our own original material or additions. So yeah, the OG version of the track has some crazy stuff, and I remember really, really struggling to be able to play it for quite a while there. Similar to, again, the Shinobi 3 album that we did, there was some stuff where it was just like, what the heck? I'm going to
It's
spend
weird
a week
diminished
on like
harmony.
20 seconds.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just running it until I could finally make it happen. So yeah, lots of stuff like that. And anyway, all that to say, we've actually played it live, and that was
A couple times. Yeah.
I'm proud of the fact that we pulled it off. Is basically what I'll say.
Well,
And we're gonna
I
do it
will
some more.
say too. I will say too that I remember you guys had sent me a video of you guys playing it.
Oh, yeah, we do
3D, I
have
think it
some-
was.
yeah.
And,
when we
and
first,
I thought it was
yeah.
so badass, and that's why I think it's so dear to me, because I'm like, this is in the Mega Man guitar
Yeah.
keys,
There you
like
go.
like everything about it was just so perfect, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did actually kind of sidetrack that because I was showing the hardware. But basically, the samples that when we think of Mega Man guitar, we think of Mega Man X, SNES, and it's specifically X2 that had this particular lead guitar patch. That same one is in this Children of the Atom game on the arcade. So the only difference is the sample itself being a higher fidelity because it's in a system that can handle higher quality samples. But it's virtually identical, it just sounds a little bit clearer. But anyway, yeah, so yes, to me, to my brother, to most people, I'm sure it's just like that's what we grew up with was the X games or whatever. So that's kind of the association we make. But yeah, so Capcom,
Mega Man
rules.
NES guitar.
No, that's cool too, but it's just not maybe as obvious that it's trying to be guitar. I don't know what the original source is though. Some
25% pulse,
Yes, absolutely. Well, especially the duty cycle switching, but we digress.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm sure a person who's even more of a nerd than me can tell me the original source, synth module or, keyboard that guitar comes from. I know there's a lot of chords and roll-ins that, had basically been pilfered from by all of these different game companies throughout time. But anyway, all that to say, I don't actually know the initial source. I just know that it's a really great sound and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Right on. And from there we will go to A Savage Land. That is the title of the Wolverine track. This is the X-Man track. This is,
yes, X-Man.
Nice.
This is the Xest and manliest of tracks. Anything more to say about it before we dive in?
I have a question. Are we just doing the one?
Yeah, we're gonna do the one.
We're gonna do because
cool.
Wolverine's a beast. It's 4 minutes. Yeah. He is a beast, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, no.
In a sea of 2-minute tracks, right, or something.
Josh, do you want to talk Frankenstein about it or no?
We'll talk afterwards about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather just kind of put it out there first.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well then let's
listen.
Yeah, that one stands on its own all right. Holy shit. Wolverine. Yeah, excellent job. Oh my god. Yeah, there was a lot to dig in here. Yeah, where do we start, guys?
Well, I think we'll start with the drums.
Yes.
This was one that, Alex had this idea to, rather than just sort of like jam through it and just give me something, he was like, what if I just give you a bunch of little ideas for each section, right? Something like that, Alex, right? You gave me like 3 or 4 different types of grooves for each section. And then he's like, you piece it together like how you want with the right grooves, and then send it back to me, and then I'll record the real drums based on those, the way that you set up those patterns. And so it totally worked. I think that was like the way that we'll definitely do it moving forward.
Wow.
But yeah, it allowed him, because he basically did a lot of composing on that one, right? And he just kind of like tried a lot of different stuff, and then rather than having to be the one to be like, okay, this is how it's going to be forever now, okay, that's the song.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, dude, like, what should we do? Like, you tell me per section. And so I had like this fun little, I was like piecing it together, I did like a Frankenstitch of like, I was like this groove for this part, like this groove for this part, like this is this, kind of built it, and I sent him back this super rough, thing, and then and then he tracked it for real. And then at that point he was able to like, know, and then add extra embellishments, change stuff up a little bit. So yeah, that was the drums. And then I will say the guitar was different for this one too. I completely forgot that I had to bust out my 8-string for this one.
Okay, yeah. Definitely hearing the extended range on this
one. So I busted out my red layer guitar, the 8-string, and that thing is like actually down tuned to a 9-string. I think I hit that string like a couple of times, but in general it's just the 8 on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what Joe was saying, because he's at the same register now as the guitar, and I think he's actually playing up a string usually. And so like the lowest note you could have, like that low B. And so he started incorporating that towards the end. But yeah, the rest of the whole track, it's like he and I are just rocking the same exact notes. And that's why it has like that very like focus. Yeah, like that bullfrog thing, like the Meshuggah thing,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun one too. And then Steph came along, and he added all this cool fusiony, interesting stuff, like especially towards the end. Like we were saying with this one, this is the one that really mutates into something, because really it just becomes like that first riff, but then anything goes on top of it. And so I added some sound clips from the game, and I made a battle, between Juggernaut and Wolverine. And if you go back and listen to it and you imagine that, and I even added the sound effects. I got like the slash effect after, Wolverine attacks, and then I got, an explosion sound after Juggernaut attacks. It's like a battle. And then obviously Wolverine kicks his ass, because it's X-Man. X-Man has to win. But yeah, Stefan was the one to me that really shined through that song, because we didn't really know what to do for the ending, because Alex had written these cool double bass patterns and stuff. It's like, okay, I'll keep the riffs going, kind of slightly change it, like open, close, faster, shorter, whatever, subdivisions. And then we gave it to Steph, and then he came up with like this like Final Fantasy kind of choir, epic thing. And I have to say, man, when I first heard that, when you sent that back, I had tears rolling down my face. It was like it was so epic, dude. I was just like, what is happening right
now? And that's the thing. Like, okay, so I compose music. Josh does too, by the way, phenomenal composer. But we compose original music too. So obviously that's why this kind of allows us to, do those kinds of elaborations when needed. I mean, I think that's the case with any VGM cover band. It's like there's always that creative aspect that goes into it as well. But for me, the way I normally compose music is very much just I hear something in my head and then I bring it out, and I'm going with that flow of that process. And so literally I'm just listening to what's there, and I'm like, okay, what am I hearing to go along with that? And as I'm hearing it in my head, I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be freaking cool. And so then I have to try to make it happen, which kind of took some time. But then by the time I was literally my hands were on the keys, I'm just like eyes closed, fucking back of my head,
just channeling at that point, right? Yeah.
So have that effect on you makes sense because it's like that's where I was, and I just kind of like, because I was able to grab that and then harness it and then pass it on, it's like,
Well, you probably have
added
like, yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, what you added on top of that, going with the Final Fantasy theme, those ARPs at the very end. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, yes, this is it. This is it. We don't need anything else. That's why this is actually my favorite track, is just because of that ending fade out. I know it's a long fade, but the whole point is that it just keeps going. If you keep listening, you can just keep hearing extra little things being added in as that fade happens. And that's actually kind of an homage, probably, Josh, I don't know if it's subconscious for you, but to what is it? Scenes from a Memory. Dream Theater.
Oh, the end.
Like they have that kind of stuff going. Yeah, I think it's the very last song, right? Exactly, where it just has this like, again, it's just epic, progressive, amazing, beautiful music. Like, come on, you can't go wrong.
Well, and that song's so heavy, but kind of like you were saying during the song, Steph, it's got that fusion vibe to it too. It's cool. It goes a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like a little taste of like the whole album, but like in the one song, So we probably will do like a dedicated video for it or something, Gonna give that one a little extra attention,
extra love.
But yeah, I mean, I think all I was going to say, Steph, is like, I kind of wish I was you sometimes, because you get to have like the whole thing, the whole backbone of the song, the chugs, the bass, the drums, bam. And you're like, okay. And you get to add all like the sauce.
Yeah, the sauce, the icing, the cherry on top. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because as a drummer, in other projects, and obviously previously in this project, I was on the other side of it, right? And
right.
What Alex was saying is really cool too, because then you get to hear what happens once you've contributed. But now, I'm almost on the back end. But then, even then, honestly, again, there's that back and forth. You will still add, like you did with the ARPs, and also your mix, right? Your mix is your last icing and cherry. So it's like literally layers of icing or layers of flavor. It's
Oops,
like,
all icing.
No, there's some meat in there too.
Oh man, yeah,
the meat.
Bro, we got
meat
the meat,
and icing.
we got the ribs, got the backbone.
No, sauce was the better analogy there. But anyway.
Sauce, man. It's like a real thick barbecue sauce that just goes across the whole thing.
Just layer after layer.
And you're making me hungry.
Some garnish too, like the thyme.
It's a damn Baconator buffet right now.
Oh man, I just ate, guys. Come on, we can't do this again.
I'm getting hungry myself.
Well, shit. I mean, that brings us to one final track on this epic album, the Magneto theme, Avalon. It must have been hard to kind of whittle down, because there's more characters on the soundtrack, right? There's more.
We really wanted to. We initially we were just going to do a really quick EP. It's going to be like 5 songs. Like, here's some stuff from X-Men, Children of the Atom. It's going to be done in like 2022, and then just move on to some other stuff. Some more kind of like Shrednobi type tracks, stuff like that. But then this just it happened the way it happened, and now when Alex joined the band, he was the one that was like, "But I like this song." He'd never heard the soundtrack, and I was like, "Okay, we're gonna play these tracks." And then he listened through all the soundtrack. He's like, "Well, what about this one?" I was like, "Okay, I mean, maybe." Alex. And then like another, what happened? He'd be like, "Well, what about this? This song's the shit, dude. We got to do this one. Come on." I'm like, all right. We just kind of kept adding songs, and then that never stopped. By the way, we had all the masters done. He's like, "Hey man, I think we should do." I was just like, "We're done, bro."
Oh no, the masters.
You got to cut it off somewhere,
Oh man, I was crying, Uncle.
There are some great tracks. We like I said, this was never intended to be like something that was so drawn out and being like a longer album. It's supposed to be an EP, so that's why the whole thing is still shorter. It's about 21 minutes, But hey man, if you had like ADD and stuff like I do, it's the perfect length, and then you can just repeat it, and then it turns into a 40-minute album, and then a 60-minute album if you repeat it again.
Yes.
Anyway, Magneto is fun. It's really odd time signature type stuff. It's a really weird one. and I think it does a pretty good job of like ending the album. So
nice. I'm expecting all of the extra notes for this one, the final track.
you shall see.
Okay. All right. Well, then, with that, folks, let's
Listen. No.
Oh man, I think you said it right. The very first track, like just leave them wanting more. I felt like I wanted more of that Magneto. I'm gonna definitely go back and listen to that one again. There was a lot happening in that track. Oh my god.
It's really, really dense. There is a lot going on. It's a lot of notes, and it's the thing is, since it's 9/8 or 9/4 or whatever it is, it's like odd, and so it's you have the bass riff is going on, and then you have like all these other parts that kind of like build like little pieces of the puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we just again like it kind of mutates and morphs, and we just kind of add more notes to it, but. This was another fun one where Alex took some liberties. You know, he was just kind of like, well, I don't even know what to do with this because the original track has like hand claps and stuff. And like the arrangement is just like
it's
wild.
really weird.
The percussion is all over the place, and it's just the track itself. Like we really didn't even know how we were gonna do it because it's just sort of like ambience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so turning it more into like a riff and riffs. That again was like I got to thank Alex for that because you know he listened to it, he got the drums going, and he decided to like sort of change up the drums here and there, like add a long backbeat for the one section, you know, add like a cool like little like pattern between the hi-hats and the snare drum, and then you know just change it up a little bit more, make it different, and that's probably the most interesting part of the track in my opinion. And I love the bass because the bass just sort of like holds down the riff. There's like this one bass part and that's how the song is. It just plays this one bass part like the entire time. It's kind of displaying that 9/8 thing. And then when we go into like the kind of more backbeat stuff, now you have 9/8 like kind of over 4/4. So we get real nerdy with like the polymeter type stuff with this one. And anyway, that makes me happy because I'm a huge sugar nerd. So
oh yeah,
It's pretty it's pretty dark too. Just the tone of
yeah,
it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I remember listening when you sent me one, Josh, and I went, dude, this song's dark, man.
I know.
Again, fitting for the character, wants to destroy the whole world, whatever.
Yeah, it's
kill off humanity.
It's a little weird. It's a little twisted.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
twisted, for sure.
Like there's moments where it's musically twisted too. Like there's like a major 6 happening over like the flat 6 on the bass.
Yeah.
So like these little questionable, weird kind of moments.
That shift of the melody up, I want to say it's a whole step. I can't even remember how to play the damn thing
half
right now.
step,
But it's
half step.
it's a half step. Everything else is in one key, and literally the melody just shifts up, and it doesn't actually. It's not in a way that jives in a harmonic sense, and then it just goes back down. It's like nothing happened. When I did the solo, I decided to actually shift I think I shifted my harmony to align with that, because I was like, I can't solo in a different key. Like, okay, I can play jazz, but like that's ridiculous. So, which actually I like the way it turned out.
I'm glad that you did that.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. My phone is freaking out.
Sorry, me too. Yeah, I heard that, and at first I didn't notice, and I was just like, oh yeah, like the solo section got more epic than it did the time before. And I didn't really know like that you had shifted the chords up half step too, because I think what it is it's like only the bass that goes up. Like everything else, and how the song normally is, like everything stays in the same key, and it's just like the bass goes up a half step doing that tapping thing, and it's just weird. It's just like tension,
Yeah, exactly. It's a very filmic choice, actually, which I'm sure the composer, it's not like they were just doing silly stuff, but it's like there's a very common, not that common, but film score composer thing of just like polytonality, just like oop, and then by doing that you create that tension, you create that weird feeling, that unease, especially in like horror movies, but even like John Williams a lot. So it's literally just a creative choice, but it's just really weird to kind of do that. And again, if I'm trying to solo on top of it, it's like, okay, what am I doing here? So and
then I like the decision you made for that solo, just to like leave no room for anything. It was just like as fast as many notes as you can possibly play.
I'll tell you, I think that was like a 2 a.m. sort of deal, where it was like, okay, I'm done with the track. I just need to throw this together, and it's temporary, so whatever. And then of course it kind of grew on all of us, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll just leave it in then. Okay, whatever. Be a
like,
crazy, wacky thing.
That's the solo. Yeah, I mean, I try not to be too like, what's the word, like I'm trying to make it a certain way. I would rather that you guys just go for it and just do some weird stuff, rather than being like the Dave Mustaine, like, okay, you got to play this exact note. It's gonna be B flat for you, and it's gonna be. It's like just play what you feel, and hopefully it works. And if it ends up being something a little too out or a little too weird, I might say something like very nice, like, "Hey, bro, can you maybe redo this part? Like, with one note slightly different." Not a huge deal. But in general, like I really love when the guys just like put their creativity into it, and even if it ends up kind of weird and wild, I'm just like, I'll mix it. Cool. Let's just put it out there, So, that's that.
Oh my god. Yeah. So who do we have to thank for the mixing and the mastering on this one? Is that so? I did the mix is you, Josh.
Yeah. I usually mix the stuff. Not that I really want to. I just end up having to do it. I have I have the tools, I guess, and I have enough fun with it. But it's just like one of those things where I'm like, it's just so much work,
Oh god.
Because like recording all the guitar and all the leads, and then going through it, and then I actually mixed this on 2 different computers, 2 different versions of Logic that didn't jive with each other.
Oh, what?
On different operating system, different eras of Mac operating systems. So when I would try to transfer the project back to my original computer, everything got all screwed up. And so I had to stick with my laptop, which only has like 250 gigabytes of space or something. And so I ran out of room real fast. And so as I was mixing Magneto, I would listen for like a second and then it would stop. And I would listen and it would stop and listen and it would stop.
Oh my
When I was
God.
recording too, I'd hit record. And sometimes, like as I'm recording, it would just stop the recording. So you guys don't even know how much of a nightmare it was in the end to really put that together.
Oh, that's who it is. I was hearing somebody. That's so
that's
cute.
his Kylo. He's a very loud boy.
Oh, Kylo.
Give him scratches.
I literally thought it was a baby, and it is a baby. It's just a fur baby.
It is a baby.
Anyway,
I was gonna say I had a lot of let's say technological issues myself. So I definitely feel you. There's some kinks to work out in my code, and also just the I'm pushing that thing to the absolute limit to try to do what it is that I do, because it's not designed for that. It's designed for playing retro games. So
I think we like the struggle, though. I think honestly we're gluttons for punishment, because that's why we do this. We listen to a song that should technically not be possible to play. We're like, we're gonna find a way to do this. Like, get all stressed out about it, like, gotta make it happen, and obsess over it, and then we do. And so it's like Dark Souls, right? This is like Dark Souls of life.
Dark Souls of life is Shrednobi.
We keep rolling. We keep rolling.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to absolutely mention our dear buddy Grant Henry, Mr. Stemage.
Oh yeah.
He's the one who masters for us, and he did the first album too, and he did Battletoads as well. Which if you haven't heard Battletoads, go back and listen to that. That one really flew under the radar. That was another DoD one that we just decided to put out just because we thought it was awesome. And we had no plans of releasing another song in between, or a album in between Ninja Master and Atomic Mutants, but that one just kind of like went out anyway. So, but anyway, Grant's been there with us from the beginning, and the dude has magic ears. I swear, he's a very, very talented guy.
For sure.
And so,
on top of as a player, as a cover whatever artist as well, this whole community is so awesome.
Cool dude.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Cool
So anyway,
first.
it's a little collab in the production between me and Grant.
Nice. Yeah.
Can I just gush a little bit? Literally.
Yeah.
This community, right? I mean, just VGM at large, whether it's VGM listeners, VGM artists, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, like I love you guys so much. And I swear I've never felt so welcomed and like encouraged and like, like inspired by other people. Cause obviously y'all are great, but it's not just that you're good musicians, you're also encouraging to those who are coming up and everything else, and kind of just welcoming in general. It's just like, it literally is just this community of people who are all great people, great players, have that shared love and appreciation for the music that, back in the day really was kind of made fun of, not really, promoted and deified.
It still is. Let's be real.
We're all commiserating
to certain people, but yeah, exactly right. So yeah, it's God, it's amazing. So yes, thank you all in the chat for being here, and obviously Jersh for making this happen. Sorry, you're still Jersh.
We got to distinguish somehow. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But yeah, and obviously your projects and everything too. I mean, it's all great stuff, man. Really, seriously.
Dude,
thank you.
real.
There we
It's
go.
very inspiring across the board.
Hell yeah. Lots of love, folks. Well, yeah, I think I saw somebody was saying in chat, oh yeah, I'll grab it tomorrow. It's Bandcamp Friday. But this album that we have just finished listening to will not be out for another while yet. Josh, when's the album due out? On
May 9th. Not a whole while. We just want a little bit more time to get it all uploaded, because this one will be on streaming services. So we got it all licensed through Sounddrop. I'm actually waiting back to hear back to make sure it does get licensed properly and whatnot. I want to do this the right way, and so that's kind of we decided to wait, do the listening party first, give you guys a taste of the album. But May 9th, next Friday, is the official release. And if you want to at least, get privy to our Bandcamp and get on there, there'll be some announcements there. On the other socials, of course, you just look up Shrednobi on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And yeah. stay tuned.
And then our personals elsewhere. You're on X and you promote Shrednobi there. I'm on Blue Sky and I promote Shrednobi there. Boy, that's a lot of words. Shoot, that made me think of something else and then I forgot. But yeah, basically the fade out of Magneto is going to continue for the next week. So there you go.
Yeah. It's still going to go in your brain. It's still there.
Exactly.
The riff is never going away.
I was actually going to suggest that maybe we fade out tonight just to keep on theme.
As we're talking, we can do that.
Yeah, we could just start talking about sandwiches
Okay, bye.
or something, and then
Thanks. All right, cool.
Yeah, we just all back off of our mics.
It's like the guy walking down the fake.
Can you do a visual fade? Can you fade us to black, please?
Oh shoot, I could actually, but I got my hand on the fader here for the volume. But yeah, I don't want to cut us off. That being said, any other special mentions? Thanks. Any other cool stuff to look forward to from Shrednobi coming up?
Well, we are getting together this summer, and we do have a show or two planned. A couple other ones that are we're looking at doing. So just like I said, stay tuned, check the socials and stuff. Mm-hmm. Nothing else is really announced. We're just going to put the album out there and kind of see how it does. But I do want to get CDs pressed for this one too. We're not going to have them initially, for the May 9th release. That's just going to be like Bandcamp and streaming. But I burned myself a CD of this album, and I'm listening to it in my car, which is a little older, and it sounds better on CD somehow. I don't know. So I think that we have to do the CD run. Alex agrees with me. You can hear it.
Yep. It's the real deal.
Lossless.
Is that what it is? It just hits hard. Like the kick drum, really crushes through. So it's a lot of fun. So we will have CDs eventually, but yeah, it'll take a little longer for that.
Bronson Theory is open for 8-track.
Oh yeah, there you go. Exactly. Or even cassette. Like obviously, cassette is a thing legitimately at this point. Again,
maybe we'll
rad.
do
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
There are printing houses and stuff, so it's like, why not? But yeah, I just wanted to say, and this is totally random, but Alex, this is literally my first time even seeing your face in like a live setting. I've seen the video that you sent us of you playing the tune, but that's it, literally. So I just wanted to say that's hilarious. We're doing this right now, and this is our first opportunity of doing this.
Have you met your drummer?
We're not like,
hey, nice
exactly.
You, by the way.
Nice to meet
you guys.
Congratulations on your album. I'm so happy you could connect.
We're not video chat people usually, so this is their first time.
Huge fan.
Thanks, man.
Y'all are hilarious, man.
We just recorded together. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe,
I haven't seen you in like a year or two. 2 years, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, at least 2.
So nice to see you again. Yeah.
Well,
nice
we don't.
You guys.
Well, why do we have to care about trivial stuff like knowing each other? It's just about the music, man. It's about BGM. It's about that Mega Man X guitar, bro.
I know your kick drum, and that's what counts.
Down to business.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I think that concludes our business. I'm going to start wrapping things up here. Joe, Josh, Stefan, Alex, super wonderful to hang out with you here tonight. Thank you and congratulations on your incredible album. Definitely looking forward to the release, folks. Make sure that you are clicking on that link for Bandcamp. There's a follow button there on Bandcamp, and you will definitely want to follow and find out when this album drops so that you can get it for yourself, get it in your own ear holes. This episode, along with all of our broadcasts, will be uploaded to the Bonus Stage YouTube channel later on, so definitely look for it there if you didn't get to catch the whole episode or want to go back and see anything else that we've streamed. That said, for Bonus Stage, what else is coming up this month? We've got Earthbound USA, the documentary put together by Jazzy Benson and their brother Robbie Benson, famously of Super Soul Bros. We're going to be doing a local screening of that film at the Cinematheque in Vancouver. So if you're in the area, please come on out. That will be a good time. We are going to have our rock band karaoke on May 30th. And actually the day before, 29th, this is unannounced yet, but Cybertronic Spree put together an incredible prom night at MagFest, and they would love to be on the show here and have a debut of the video and the audio production behind that, telling a little bit behind the scenes, etc. And so we'll be having them on. I'll probably announce more details about that coming up shortly. But folks, if you want to stay tuned to everything that we're doing here, go to bonusstage.ca. Social media is okay and everything, but that is definitely the website, is the best place to keep up to date. And we have an email address or email list that you can join there as well. But yeah, folks, thank you so much for being here tonight. It is a bit of a later show to accommodate Josh in Hawaii, etc.
It's still daylight.
It's still daylight over there. Oh my god!
Hey, I'm going to the beach after this. I don't know about you guys.
I've been like watching the sunset, like in my the daylight has waned thoroughly from the start to the end of this show. But yeah, again, guys, it was a lot of fun, folks. I might see if there's anybody that we want to raid. If you're still up to doing the Twitch thing, otherwise, thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time. Have a good night.
Thank
Peace
you,
out,
Josh.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Love
much.
y'all. See ya.
Love you, Josh. Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks, guys. Bye.